Chapter 113, Tournament Finals, Part 8. Tournament Finals, Part 8. The tournament only had 2 days left. Today is the last climax. All that is left is tomorrow's final match. The final match will be held in the morning, while a showing of the inside of the dungeon is planned for the afternoon. However, even though this coliseum was built to be as strong as possible, traces of destruction can still be seen in some parts of the arena. Although they didn't conduct any temporary repairs for the match effect, to reach this degree of damage in just a few days, the matches were fiercer than expected. Oh well, as long as it doesn't affect the spectator seats, it's good. It's unexpected, but in case of a big problem occurring, we thoroughly set up a barrier. Well, another unexpected thing is the overwhelming popularity of Sokka and Milim, especially Milim. Though she only took the position of announcer for one day, it seems she has acquired a deeply rooted fan base amongst the nobles and the adventurers and even the influential monsters of the Jura Great Forest. She acquired tremendous popularity. Oh well, it's simply because they don't know her true nature. They cheerfully shouted things like Milim-chan or Milim-sama. It's interesting that for some reason they called Sokka without any honorific, while there's no one that called Milim without an honorific. Is it because of the aura haki that she exudes? Is that the case? Is that the cause? Oh well, it's Milim after all. It wouldn't be a surprise even if it was. Today, 2 matches will be held in the morning, while in the afternoon there will be a match to decide third place. Concerning the fatigue, the first match is more advantageous, but that isn't a good excuse. I'm looking forward to the battles from today's matches, so do your best, everyone. Well, it's almost time for today's first match to begin. The 13th match, Benimaru versus Gobta. In contrast to the nervous Gobta, Benimaru is calm. By the way, I conveyed a message to Gobta that he can only summon Ranga in a fight. That Gobta is being recognized as the superior of Ranga makes me concerned about the match. In this match, Gobta is the leading actor till the end. Begin. Sokka and Milim. With the harmonious shouts of Milim and Sokka, today's first match began. Oh, I will do it too. Gobta. So Gobta charged like yesterday. I thought that it was useless, and just like I thought, Benimaru dodged it and sent a kick. Umu, as expected, Gobta is no match for Benimaru. You better quick summon the doggy, Ranga. Without hiding anything, Milim gave out her advice order. Otto. As expected, the difference in their face is too great. Contestant Gobta cannot do anything to contestant Benimaru. Sokka's subjective live coverage greatly perturbed their heart and mind. Against this announcement, people without confidence in their face will cry, Hehe, as expected, Su. I tried to see how far I could go with my current ability, Su. However, I'm able to land any hit, Su. Please let me use it. Unique skill, become my power, Demon Wolf Summon. Also, transform Demon Wolf Unification. Though Gupta was on the verge of death because of Benimaru's kick, his injury recovered quickly now. A distortion occurred in the air and Ranga was summoned, and then Ranga wraps Gupta's body, and the unification between Ranga and Gupta is done. Gupta's body seems to have grown larger, with Ranga transforming himself into a wolf's fur-like armor that covers Gupta's entire body. Should I say it a humanoid version of Ranga? If I voiced my honest thoughts, it's too good for Gupta. It's too cool. I thought something like, damn it. You're just a Gobta, and yet you can transform. Oh ho, it's so cool. What is that? It's too cool. The highly excited Milim forgets her role. I know I understand what Milim feels. Damn it, Gobta, it's a much more wonderful ability than I thought. Hehe, it's my turn next to Gobta with Ranga armor. So he shouts, and then Gobta disappeared. No, of course my eyes see it, but for normal people, it looks like he's vanished. Contestant Gobta disappeared. Where on earth? Where on the earth? At that moment, bam! There was an explosion in the surface of the Colosseum wall under the spectator seat. To be exact, it's right under the distinguished guest room where we are in. I can see it clearly. Gobta declared it coolly and then began to run. However, he doesn't show any indication of stopping, and as it is slammed himself into the wall, that's all. That idiot is still unable to control the power and speed at all. To make an easy-to-understand comparison, he could run if he was aware of it. He could stop if he thought about it. Based on Gobta's original ability, even he could run away anywhere instantaneously, like Ranga. Such a thing could happen. And yet, contestant Gobta isn't getting up. Is he all right? Sokka, just like Sokka said, Gobta won't get up. He unable to move. Not because the physical damage, but because he fainted due to the shock. What should I say? Immediately after showing such a cool appearance, he showed a pathetic condition. I have no way to express other than it's Gobta. Oi, you, are you making fun of me? Shall we talk a while over there? Milim, thud, thud, thud. So Milim walks to Gobta's spot and then lifts Gobta with one hand. Her face is smiling, but her eyes are not. The winner is Benimaru, though I never thought it would become such an unsightly match. Where had the anticipation and the excitement from before gone? With such a charming voice echoing, she held Gobta in her hand forcefully, and after those words, Gobta was taken from the Colosseum by Milim. It seems the referee judge has left. Self-destruct. Contestant Gobta lost because he self-destructed. It is a victory for contestant Benimaru. Boo, boo. Grand booing came. That is justified as Govta lost by self-destructing at the start of the match. Moreover, it's on the semifinal. It wouldn't be surprising if they lashed out with complaints and demanded reimbursement if they had pay for money. If they had pay money for it. But when they see the appearance of Govta being pitifully dragged out by Milim, the intention to complain disappears. Goodbye, Govta. I'll never forget your gallant figure. Lol, even though he coolly transformed himself with great effort, eventually the result was him pouring the fire and invoking Milim's great anger. Since Milim had high expectations for the match, it seems Gupta's body would receive the torrent of her fury. My master, I have returned. Ranga returned without any hesitation after deserting Gupta. That's so, right? He doesn't want to get dragged into it. TL, Milim's lessons or fist. It seems that he excused himself from Milim and ran away when they left the Colosseum. Now let us pray for Gupta's happiness in the next world. The lesson from today. When you are too lucky, the backlash is terrifying. Gupta used up too much luck yesterday, and this is the result. I wish he would acquire the ability honestly without depending only on luck from now on. So I wished let's expect great efforts from Gupta in the future. Oh well, it's just a story if he is able to survive after the discussion with Milim. Next scene. The 14th match. Sean versus Jablo. It's a noteworthy match. It seems that Milim was having an important discussion with Gupta, so she didn't return. She seems to be really angry. Gupta, too, had stepped on a terrible landmine. Thanks to all of that, Sokka did the announcing by herself. Begin, Sokka. So the beginning shout echoes and the match begins. Between these two people, which one is the strongest? To say that a warm-up is unnecessary, is that their intention? Chaotic, the apocalypse and genesis of fate, life and death of the universe, end of worlds collapse. At the same time, they use their special move. Sean's special move is endowed with ability of the outcome is rewritten by the effect of the unique skill, Cook. With the strength of strong will, it can negate the effect of the opponent's technique. It can be described as a slash that brings the result that Sean wishes for. In a sense, it was ability to manipulate the fate. Even if the fate said that it could not be cut, it will get cut. It was a sword that brings death against Diablo, who's putting an effect that denied everything. It was an ability that would bring about destruction. To the things that Diablo didn't allow, the effect would bring destruction. For the people who couldn't resist the effect, they will receive despair. Their ability can be said as an antithesis of each other. In the end, the victory or the defeat is decided by the collision of their will. It looks like they intend to fight with all their might from the start, while destruction energy is condensing in both of Jablo's hands. Sean slashes using her Odachi. A clash between magic and sword is something typical that I've already seen. However, those two people, because of their unbelievable concentration and fighting spirit, each had the intention to clash from the start. How much time has passed? It seems like an eternity, but only several seconds had passed. However, in these several seconds, Sean and Diablo were exhausted and settled their battle. As expected, the winner is. An intense spark occurred in the middle of Sean and Jablo. Then the time of conclusion arrived. A crack had run through Sean's Odachi, and so it broke. Simultaneously, Diablo grabbed hold and crushed the whirlpool of energy that smolders in the center. However, Diablo's left arm flew off because he suppressed the power that was produced by their ability. It disappeared from the palm of the shoulder. One could see what kind of extreme power had been displayed. Fufu. It was a great swordsmanship. You had me in a dangerous spot. Diablo praises Sean without minding his lost arm. However, Sean cannot even stand up after being blown away by the aftermath of their technique's explosion. Fu, what was dangerous? You still have more power, right? You. Not at all. There's not much power left. If I still had more power, I wouldn't have made such blunder as to lose my left arm. Fu, didn't you suppress the energy of the technique with one left arm? It is my loss. Sean admitted her defeat honestly. Well, isn't it natural? If Diablo was late to suppress the energy of their technique, Sean would have received a direct hit from the technique's explosion. Even though it's just an aftermath, she seemed to receive damage that made her unable to stand. It might be dangerous for her if she had received a direct hit from it. The one that should be praised is Diablo. Though he lost his left arm, he conceals that injury with his robe and acts like nothing happened at all. Or rather, how strong he is seriously. Though he was an archdemon, when he arrived, after I summoned him, there were still many mysteries about him. He had become a demon duke now, and he was clearly stronger than Beretta. He also won against the demon lord Carrion, so to what extent will his strength be if he fights seriously? Should I ask Wisdom King Raphael to tell me secretly this time? Somehow, my subordinates, many of them, had become stronger more than I'd expected. I can't be careless. Anyway, the winner of this match is Diablo. Winner, Diablo. Sokka. With Sokka's announcement, the shout of joy reverberated in the Colosseum. With this, the two strongest are present, Benimaru and Diablo. Since we are talking about Diablo, his injury might have already recovered by tomorrow, so I think there will be no problem with his condition for the final match. The next issue is about Sean. If she is still in her current condition, Gupta will become third place by default. No, it will only be if Gupta is still alive. The match to decide third place will be held at noon. Gupta versus Sean. If their conditions are not all right, will they even be able to do the match? I praised Diablo's victory while worrying about that. Next scene. The match at noon. We somehow managed to hold it. Milliam returned just before noon at the same time as the ending of Sean versus Diablo. She spoke calmly and reported herself that it seems Gobta came and received full potion at the medical care building. It's terrible, Sue. I might already be broken, Sue. So I heard Gobta murmuring in small voice as his body trembled and shook. But the report that came from the Goburina of the medical care squad stated that there is no apparent problem. Sean is lively. After all, she is immortal. Her recovery ended quickly. Her physical condition was also checked. The problem is that her weapon was broken. Just like Gobta, I don't need things like a weapon. Aside from that, what will happen to my Hercules edge reforged? So she more worried about her broken sword. Oh well, that Odachi was a great article that kept enduring the reckless utilization by Sean. She seemed to attach to it that she gave it a name. I can understand about her worry, but we can't do anything except leave this to Korobe. Though restoration is possible with my regeneration ability in this case, the magic power that Sean put into it until now becomes useless. Although Sean would get used to it with much effort, it would be a waste if it turned to its original state. I entrust this to no one except the godly craftsman Kurobe. Therefore, Sean will go to the match without a weapon. Match for third place, Gobta versus Sean. It's starting. Gobta performed the transformation from the start. It seems he uses it better than before. While he glances repeatedly towards Milim in worry, he sets out to fight with all his might. Sean even thought she had saw Gobta, who was full of openings. She intended to conscientiously keep him company, or rather, did she intend to do it for 30 minutes? Even if she receives a punch with full power, she will just recover. This happened repeatedly. Gobta was already in tears. Even so, it's wonderful, Gobta. Even though his attack was completely useless, his expression still showed that he still has another card in his hands. Evil judge. So Milim performed her live coverage. Her eyes was emitting a message. Giving up? I won't permit it. Gobta so pitiful. During these 30 minutes, it was like waiting for a death penalty for Gobta. This time was like an extended trial torture. However, because Milim was watching, he couldn't even escape. Gobta already made a blunder when he attracted Milim with his cool transformation that appealed to her. But, during these 30 minutes, Gobta's movement improved remarkably. They say that real combat is superior to mock training combat. This may surely be accurate. To the last few minutes, Gobta succeeded in evading several times. Has he forgotten to use the Turanga speeds? As expected, whatever has been said about Gobta, he is a real genius. Even so, it's still impossible for him to win. After 30 minutes pass, it's only Sean that is standing. It's victory for contestant Sean. So Milim and Sokka declared Sean's victory at the same time. The first Tempest tournament, the third place belongs to Sean. Gobta did his best to even reach such position. Such position was already a great feat. Today, I think I will treat Sean and Gobta nicely. End of chapter 113.